Final story. Caleb Williams contractually obligated to get your favorite quarterback in the show every day. And now Caleb Williams out here stealing lines from Ted Lasso, talking about having the memory of a goldfish. Obviously, famously, goldfish have like a 10-second memory, and then it's like on to the next one. But I do kind of like this mentality in sports is, hey, I teach my kids, well, everybody talks about it now, thanks to Ted Lasso, but it's like, hey, Caleb, you make a bad play, a fumble, a turnover, an interception, an incompletion, 58% completions, on to the next one. Forget about it. I kind of like this attitude.
I'll tell you what, the quarterback for the Indiana Bears is going to be a Hall of Famer. They're all fired up in Chicago.
Can he finish top 10 in quarterback rating before we put him in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I've said before, I think after Josh Allen, he's got more horsepower than any quarterback in the league now. It's very Elway. It's like he's just stronger and bigger arm and more mobile. When Elway was playing, it was like nobody else quite played like him. Marino maybe had the prettier aesthetic, but Elway was just different. Stanford guy, big arm, Yankees drafted him. It's like Caleb's just different. That's why I'm not going to hold him to a 68% completion percentage. Can he get to 61.5? I'm okay with it.
This must be.
All right, here's the thing. He needs to push past 61.5%, because when you're running Ben Johnson's offensive system, hitting around 65% means you're taking over the entire league. If you combine Caleb's arm talent, the horsepower Colin keeps bringing up, and you get close to a 70% completion rate, then you are absolutely, positively setting the NFL on fire. No question. You are absolutely, positively torching the league. And the reality is, people keep trying to invent excuses and find alternative explanations for this. That's exactly what Nick did last year, trying to argue that maybe because of all the spectacular highlight plays, his completion percentage is lower than it should be. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. This isn't a situation like Steph Curry where his three-point percentage is always going to be a little skewed because he takes such ridiculously difficult shots. That's not really how it translates to the NFL. Not exactly. Sure, there's a small degree of that effect, but it's not the difference between having a 68% completion rate and a 58% rate. Mathematically, that just doesn't hold up. So, yeah. But here's the point, if Caleb, with his arm talent and his skill set, can reach something like a 68% completion percentage, not only does he become a Hall of Fame caliber player, he literally becomes an all-time legend. An all-time great. Because again, completion percentage isn't just some random number for fun. It would be a direct demonstration of him operating Ben Johnson's offense at the highest possible level. And when you do that, you're going to win an insane number of games. And when you add Caleb's superhero abilities on top of that, you become incredibly good. It's the synergy. It's the double bounce on a trampoline on the moon. Before I go any further, after that whole rant, please, Chicago Bears fans, I will never call you the Indiana Bears. Chicago Bears fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you do that, my view counts go through the roof, my subscriber numbers go through the roof. And this isn't about chasing view counts. It's not about chasing subscribers. It's about being able to create Chicago Bears content that people genuinely want to watch and talk about. So we can keep having the most fair, grounded, honest conversations about the Bears. Watching the entire video is without question the best way to support this channel. So I would truly appreciate it. But yeah. Also, thank you to the Bears fans for letting me know, because I asked you in my previous Bears video about what you actually think. I wanted to get the real, ground-level thoughts from the fans who are just locked in 100% on the move and everything surrounding it. And you all left some really awesome comments and gave some fantastic explanations. So, I really appreciate that, and please keep leaving those comments. If you didn't check out that previous video, do it there or do it on this video. I want to keep refining my understanding of how the actual fans feel. That is always as important as it gets. That's why I read the comments and try to talk directly with you all, rather than just speaking at you or to you. I see this very much as a community and something we build together. But yeah, listen, I don't know. Maybe because I played sports. Maybe because my dad is a coach and all of that. But this whole idea of having a goldfish memory, forgetting the last play and moving on, that wasn't made famous to me by Ted Lasso, alright? That's just embedded in my brain. I feel like every coach is teaching that. So I have to imagine Caleb has been hearing that since he was about 6 years old. I just have to assume that. And it's one of those things you don't really understand until you get older. You don't truly grasp it. And that's one of the biggest aspects. It's almost like parenting. I'm pretty sure, I'm positive again, whether you're a parent or, obviously, if you've been born and alive to some degree, you've had some frame of reference through a teacher or something. It's one of the great tragedies of life that you don't really understand the lessons until you're older. It's not until you're older that you think, oh, that's what my mom or dad meant, or that's what that teacher was saying, or that's what at coach was trying to tell me. You don't realize it until years later. But that's also part of it, right? That's part of the process. If you didn't understand that lesson back then, but you understand it now, it's not because you just did something brand new today. It's because of accumulation. It's because your bucket is finally filled to a level where you can see it. I used the bucket analogy at the rehab facility where I used to work. You might have failed a million times in the past, and now it's finally going to click. But that's only because your bucket wasn't full yet. And that doesn't mean everything in the past was a waste. It's just part of the process of filling up that bucket. And this is all part of the growth process for Caleb and all of this. And since Caleb is going to be an electric player, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to try things. He's going to get his hand caught in the cookie jar, just like Josh Allen, just like Lamar Jackson, just like Patrick Mahomes. So that mentality is arguably more important for Caleb than for other quarterbacks. It's more important for him to be able to do that. My dad actually just had a pickleball tournament. I went to him, and I was out there trying to coach him and help him out. And before we even got there, I said to him, and again, this was a full circle moment for me, I told him, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. You're going to miss a shot that you've made a million times. There will be a moment where you miss, and you're going to feel dumb. You're going to feel like everyone is looking at you and thinking, this guy doesn't know how to play. He's terrible. It's guaranteed to happen. You're not going to get through this tournament flawlessly. You're going to make mistakes. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Don't get mad at yourself. Don't pace. Don't do any of that. None of that matters right now. Get that out of your head. And honestly, that's one of the things I wish I had embodied more when I was playing, just going into a game knowing I'm going to make mistakes. Like, are you kidding me? You think I'm just going to come out here and be flawless? No. I'm going to make mistakes. So one of the biggest things I would want to coach right now is going into a game saying, you're going to make mistakes. If I were addressing an NFL team on the first day, the very first conversation you see on Hard Knocks, I would start by saying, you're going to make mistakes, and I would have it written gigantic on the board. You're going to make mistakes. Get it out of your head that you won't make mistakes, because if you're doing it right, you will make a million mistakes over the course of this season. You are going to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes in practice, then you're not practicing hard enough. You're not pushing yourself enough. That's the mentality. It's simply understanding that making mistakes and failing is all part of the journey. And that is something Caleb has to embody to the highest level, because of his playing style, because of what he can do. It's just really, really, really important. So, but yeah, I mean, this continues to be funny to me. I'm all for always finding ways to make content, I'm kind of the king of that. I'll take a 10-second clip where someone just mentions a team or just mentions the Bears or Caleb, and I'll turn it into a 20-minute video. But you do have moments like when J Mac made the joke, contractually, we have to say something about Caleb or the Bears, and that's exactly what a take like this is right now. Or just, oh, Caleb talking about putting himself in the right mindset after a negative play, goldfish memory, and it's like, yeah, sure. But it is an interesting conversation. It's an interesting kind of coach and life conversation. That's why I'm glad they also brought up completion percentage. Because again, it's one of those things, as my alarm goes off. Sorry about that. But it's one of those things where it's okay to push Caleb. It's okay to hold him to a high standard. There are people who are afraid, right? They say, well, he only needs to get to like 61.5%. And it's like, no, we're chasing greatness here. We're chasing greatness. We talked about Caleb being a generational talent. We talked about him being the next evolution of Mahomes. You achieve that by being what Caleb can be, by doing what Caleb can do. It's a combination of a Jared Goff and a Mahomes. There's a clip, and I'll probably turn it into a Detroit Lions clip, where Nick calls Jared Goff a civilian. A civilian. And it's like, no, his superpower is just operating the offense at an insanely high level. Right now, Jared Goff runs an offense and makes different types of throws in a more traditional system better than Caleb Williams does. That's just a fact. It doesn't mean he's a better quarterback overall. It's just that specific aspect. And Jared Goff does it near flawlessly. If Caleb incorporates some of those things, if he brings some of Jared Goff's aspects into his own game, that's how you get to game over. That's how you get to checkmate. That's how you build a dynasty. That's how Caleb and Ben Johnson become one of the greatest coach-quarterback duos of all time. It's not about the spectacular throw he made against the Rams. That can be part of it, but I keep saying that cannot be the foundation. In fact, the Jared Goff style of play has to be the foundation. That honestly has to be the foundation. When that becomes your foundation, again, it's just game over. It becomes game over. And I know Bears fans don't want to hear, well, Jared Goff is pretty good, but he is. And if he had elements of Caleb Williams' game, again, it's game over. Game over in that direction. And we haven't truly seen that fully yet. At times, we thought we saw it with Josh. We think we see it with Lamar or Mahomes. And I think the closest we've got is Mahomes and Allen. But there's another level we haven't seen yet. Which makes sense, it's evolution. I just listened to a clip of Kobe talking about how Jordan learned from Magic. And he said, and I learned from Jordan. And LeBron is learning from me. It's just this chain. We're all connected. So yeah, of course there's going to be a next evolution, again and again. So you have to love the ceiling and the potential you see here. But it's up to them to realize it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, the goldfish mentality, and what Caleb needs to do to truly unlock his greatness? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Agree with me or disagree, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something we all genuinely feel connected to. Something we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.